What up, Mr. Mumbles, King's Court, East 905. All right, so we're about to do another one of our interviews. You know, I love to give shine to, my Canadian people and, the Canadian leagues and stuff. They ain't always getting the shine from the people that they might deserve on the grand scheme things there. So I know everybody knows about King of the Dot and stuff, but that's not the only battle rap we have up in the north. One of the best leagues, that bringing up some up and coming talent and really putting together great events is Capital Rap Battle, CRB out of Ottawa. You've seen I did do interview with Prehistoric. He is one of the owners. And today I get the pleasure of doing an interview with the other co-owner. So, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to do it like that. So we got Patrick McCormack. He's going to be coming in probably in the next couple of minutes there. And, we'll be continuing up that interview there. So he'll be in here probably in about 4 or 5 minutes. So let's enjoy some music there, and y'all hold on a moment there, all right? Mr. Mumbles, East 905. We in the building. Patrick produced this beat, Mischief. Holla.
Talk gun stuck up in this rut, son. Nothing on my mind except for where the fuck my luck's run. I've been stuck, done and never got no one love. All I got was struck, cut and bucked at by one blood. I live a thug's life, and it's in my blood type. Uptight blood clot buster, sitting upright. And ain't enough like a sucker when I bust tight. Bluffing, acting tough until I got him and it's just trife. Fuck the bass up in the beat another level. Let it mental case mischief on top of this instrumental. Again, no friends, I'm not flexing with a benzo, you let alone a rental car to get me to the petrol. I jot up every thought I got up with my pencil, bringing it high and with a plot to build a fucking temple. Chickens out to play me like I'm a Nintendo, well a rapper wanna quit the game for seeing my potential. Yeah, without a clue, I turn around in circles and burn a pound of purple, looking nerdy like I'm Urkel. I chuck a verse and get him tucking like a turtle, serving a person worse than murder one once I murk you.
I'm not typical kid, but the difference is this. I'm real, which is why you ain't feeling my shit. I'm known to stick to the script, legitimate when I spit. If it's a problem, it'll take a quick minute to fix. Now listen to this. I'm not as weak as you thought, so if I tell it like it is, it's cause I speak from the heart. I'm knee deep in this art, blaze trees when I spark. The only time we'll ever reach is when you meet me up top. That's right, I never cheap talk, my words are worth millions. Now show me love when you see me in the building. But don't be mad cause I ain't heard of all you hypocrites. Give me respect cause I deserve every bit of it. And I'ma spit till I'm resting in peace. In the casket I won't live till I'm 73. But till then I'll be puffing on these heavenly trees. Lace your boots up, I'm about to raise hell on these streets. Let's go! Yeah. J-Sparks, Mischief, Jugger,
never had a fucking thing handed to me. Hockey bags with Ziploc, stacks some money, packs of Phillies. And maybe Pat was silly, planning to amass a milli, chopping on the same block. The beast patrolling bat with Billy.
What up? Can you hear me? Patrick? Okay, I see you. Is your mic? Make sure your mic's not muted. I can't hear you. Your microphone. Hello? Can you hear me? I can. I can see you. Can you make sure your microphone? Your audio seems to be off. Make sure you check your audio.
It's on now.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. Yeah, just I was planning on joining with like my my laptop, and it has like dope webcam and all that, but I'm rendering video, so it's bogged down. It's like super slow right now.
That's all right. This works fine there. So, all right. So it's been a while since we've talked and things like that. So how things going? I did talk to Prehistoric. So I know that you guys have an event coming up. But actually, you know what? Because I will be posting on my page and everything. Why don't we start properly? I know who you are, but I'm trying to get to a better plateau, so hopefully other people don't know who you are. Introduce yourself to the people.
Yeah, my name is Patrick McCormack, otherwise known as Jugga or the Juggernaut. I represent Ottawa, Ontario, born in Toronto, raised in Ottawa, mostly. And I'm one of the co-founders of CRB, one of the co-founders of Cranium Festival. And of course, people in Ottawa know about the history of Boogaloo Tribe. Some people outside of Ottawa know too, but definitely.
Yeah, come on now. I'm from Toronto. We know about Boogaloo Tribe. Like, it's not just Ottawa. Yeah.
Respect. Yeah, so that's me. And of course, I'm a dad and all that other kind of stuff right now. Yeah. Husband, community builder.
Okay. So I did ask Prehistoric, but I'm gonna ask your side. How did for you, how did starting CRB come about? Like, and maybe from this, and actually even stretch it from like you doing the music. Let them, know a little bit of the history and how you've.
Yeah, it's a long history, bro, but I'll try to give you the Coles Notes version, right? Like after leaving Toronto with my family as a child, I lived in a small rural community for a few years. And hip hop was like my only connection to the outside world. I used to shortwave radio. We used to go up on the roof of the house at night and we catch hip hop radio shows from all over the world. And my older brother used to go into the only like music store in the community, and he'd come back with like the Run DMC tapes and the what I'm saying, the Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince tapes. So that was like my introduction. Like I come from a musical family, so music has always been something in my house. My dad was a influential reggae musician in Toronto in the 70s and 80s. So I grew up around music. You know what I mean? My dad played in a band called Earth, Roots, and Water, on a label called Summer Records, and it's actually been the subject of like documentaries and stuff like that lately. He played with Jackie Matu, considered one of the innovators of reggae music. So
Yeah.
that was my life as a child. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you grew up into it there.
Yeah. So even after leaving Toronto, it wasn't so much reggae anymore because we're in a rural community. So my dad jammed with people playing all sorts of stuff. Um,
Yeah.
then moving to Ottawa from there, I just gravitated towards it, finding a friend group and all that and just loving music. That's how I found myself fitting in, was with the kids who was in the hip hop. So, you know, um, that's how I got settled in, and that's naturally the people I gravitated towards. So, you know, getting started in a few different groups as an MC, but eventually, dude, like I'm gonna tell you, I went through writing rhymes, DJing, beat making, audio engineering, and I did all of that, and I didn't just do it. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
I played a pretty important role at different stages in different all those different things. You know what I mean? Like I've toured as part of a DJ crew. We've been definitely acclaimed locally. Our music charted on college radio in the States. So I produced the only full length album that my crew Boogaloo Tribe ever did. I produced for other groups. I was a recording assistant and a production assistant at Swap Studios, which was in Ottawa. It's like part of the history of hip hop music here. It was a jump off
Yeah.
point for people like DL Incognito, Belly, Masari. Just the whole sound of that broke out of the city came out of that studio. So I did a lot of stuff, man. And then Boogaloo Tribe, we broke apart. Life goes on, people move into other things, and we're still like those guys are like still my brothers. You know what I mean? Like my support mechanism.
Yeah.
Those are my homies, like my best friends. You know what I'm saying? I consider them my brothers, all of them still. So we're still super tight in that regards. You know. So
Yeah,
then I just
music.
started getting into other things, man. You know. So CRB, like the desire to have a platform, for the city of Ottawa when we saw, capital invasion, respect to KOTD.
Yeah.
We're super grateful to have had KOTD Capital Invasion series here, but when they left, there was a void. You know what I'm saying? And before that, there was definitely was like battle leagues here, but we're talking about the older school days. So we had the Pop and Lock Committee, Last Man Standing battle series, which was on beat
Yeah. Yeah.
battles. You know what I mean? That's the homie too. Like, I mean, I came up with dude, Maurice, aka Troubled One. Um, so like he had that series and it was big, like some of those battles attracted people. I remember Scandalous battled Ironic at that one time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And I was there in Ironic's corner and tech, like it was real, it was big, it was big venues, big shows. Um, but after all that subsided, there was nothing left. And being somebody who had decided, okay, I'm going to lay my roots down here in Ottawa, but I had seen a lot of the outside world, outside of Ottawa, even outside of Canada, and seen what can be done. I knew it was time to start building opportunities for artists from here. So that's really what the impetus behind the idea for CRB was. And then one of the first people I approached had to be prehistoric because he was active as a battler at the time and he was
True.
successful at it. And he brought that energy and he brought that network, and we was already homies. You know what I mean? Like we weren't tight as we are now. We grew tighter through that. Launching CRB and making it into a thing. But we was already cool, and I already knew the kind of person that he was, and I knew he was the kind of person that I want to build something with. So I
Yeah.
approached
You
him.
gotta be the right people around you.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
like yeah, man.
um, have you battled
Yeah, I
like
used
in the
yeah.
new era?
No, not in the new
Because I
era.
think I know
No.
I've seen him, but I was looking around and I didn't see any like new like league type written battles for you. So I didn't know if you got into it. So you've done some battles on CRB, or
No, I've never done a CRB battle. No, the only thing that people might have caught is like some of the open mic ciphers. I get in, drop some bars. But nah,
yeah,
I just, to be honest, like I take my role as a person who's building these platforms and promoting them really seriously. And it just, like the other stuff I mentioned, I'm involved with like Cranium and other things, doesn't really afford me the time that I would necessarily need to put into honing the craft if I was to try to jump
to
in.
do,
Like I know I have the necessary ingredients, but to bake that cake and after so long of a hiatus from being a performer or whatever, it would definitely mean that I would need to kind of move away and take a back seat to some of the other stuff I do, which I'm really not willing to do. I feel like I'm comfortable playing the role that I play right now.
okay. So how do you think the whole pandemic, the corona, the closures and everything, how do you think that have affected you and CRB? Like what have been the benefits, what have been the negatives and stuff? Because I've found
Well,
some people it's actually helped, some people it's hurt. So
yeah. Um, I'll speak first from the CRB perspective, because on a personal note, it's really different than it's affected CRB as a brand or as an organization.
mm.
Man, it feels like there's a cold draft in my house. It's super cold out here. I don't know how cold it is down there,
Oh
but it's like
yeah,
cold as fuck up here.
today is not the day.
Yeah,
It's
it's even
freezing.
cold in the house, and I'm wearing this like warm sweater. Um, so for CRB, like the pandemic has definitely been a big hit to us. It hasn't crippled us, um, but it's definitely really slowed us down from the trajectory that we were on, and it's revealed some of the weak points. But that's all good in a sense because since developing CRB, and then the plan was to develop the Cranium thing too, and developing all these platforms, I had started this where I'm kind of like at my 2.0 stage. I have developed platforms and organizations in the past, and all those lessons learned, I was able to bring forward. And one of the things was about staying lean, staying flexible, staying small, not putting too much stake into any one thing that can't be uprooted. So more like a more nomadic tribe than trying to build a castle. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to build
Yeah.
caravans. You know what I'm saying? So building
Mm.
caravans, um, it meant that we were able to deploy quickly when it came time to drop things like CRB. It became an idea, then became a thing quickly. Cranium Festival, same thing. And part of the challenge for CRB was like, knowing that when we started, we were a battle league, but we're also a media business, right? Like we produce events, but we also create video out of those events, and that's really the biggest growth potential for CRB is through the video, not at the events, because we're in the city of Ottawa. We got 1 million people here, and people could travel here, but there's a whole world of people who
Yeah.
watch English language battles everywhere in the world, right? So um, the pandemic meant that I'm not going to say we stopped having events, but we 95% stopped having events. Like we had a couple battles in the summer where we were outdoor and we were socially distanced, and it worked. Big ups to everybody who supported that. The MCs for sure for being flexible, and the fans who came out and supported and who were respectful enough to respect the distancing and all those measures we had to have. But we had Capital Punishment 5 planned for October, and it had to get postponed indefinitely. And then we just, decided to do the thing this coming Saturday. So, I mean, you know, when we did Capital Punishment 4, it was a stress test for us, and we did it on purpose. We decided, let's go big,
Yeah.
For the people who don't know, we brought in Sharon. Sharon versus Chrome was the headline battle, but we also had a lot of other, very, watch-worthy battlers. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? The whole card was dope, and people came in to battle from all over. You know what I'm saying? Montreal, Toronto, New Jersey, New York. And fans came from all over too to support it. So we knew that our platform had the traction that we needed in order to continue to support large scale events, but always the business structure was always about selling tickets, right?
mm,
And when you could bring a big name, you could sell sponsorship and stuff like that too. But without the admission revenue, the structure falls down because we don't have any sort of other type of funding, like KOTD and URL got in and got funded by those streaming platforms and stuff. We don't have
yeah,
none of that. We're all self-funded. So that really, things kind of fell apart there. So it the one good thing that came about it was like a kick in the ass. It was like, yo, like you should be focusing on making sure that you have a really strong online presence and the ability to deliver digital content and eventually to monetize that digital content one way or
yeah,
the other. You know what I'm saying? To make revenue out of it, just for the sake of, you know, sustaining. You know what I'm saying? So
true, true.
that was a wake up call in it, and a lot of things are in the works right now, and you're gonna see like this Saturday, we're live streaming our battle, which we did that at CP4, but that was like an afterthought. So for
Yeah.
CP5, it's like, I mean, that's the main
Yeah,
way
so
you
I
can
heard.
tune
Are
in.
you just live streaming it on Facebook or through YouTube or how? Like,
Yeah, we'll be on multiple channels. We'll be on YouTube, we'll be on Facebook, we'll be on Twitch, and we'll be on Periscope on Twitter. So you can check it on all those channels.
oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, send me all of your links and stuff because I'll make sure I'll have it in the description and stuff afterwards for the people
No doubt.
and stuff. So and I did see it when I looked it up and you have mentioned it. What exactly is Cranium, the Cranium Festival?
Mm. Cranium is an acronym, Capital Region Association for Nurturing the Industry of Urban Music. So um, Cranium itself is actually, it does more than the festival, but being a fairly young organization, the focal point right now is the festival. We also do
Mm,
like professional development activities for artists practicing in music forms like hip hop, R&B, soul, EDM, whatever. You know, so the festival, the first one was in 2019, November 14th to 17th. And really the purpose is like, again, Ottawa is one of those places where we're kind of tucked away. You know what I mean? Like
mhm.
it's a hotbed for talent. There's so much talent that, a lot of people outside of Ottawa have never heard of. And then there's some talent that people heard of and they don't even realize it's from here. Or, what I'm saying? Like there's just like, we've always been producing a lot of quality artists in these genres of music, but now there's just like it's bubbling up. So the idea is to be a catalyst for the development of that scene. You know what I mean? Not only as an opportunity for artists to perform in a professionally produced setting, but also to develop their business acumen. So we have a conference that goes on with it, panel discussions, networking sessions, stuff like that. You know what I mean? The last we did a live stream November, I think it was the 17th. Sorry, October 17th. And yeah, like we had one of our panelists who was speaking on the panel before the performances were live streamed. Henka, who she's the boss of the New School Rules music conference in Rotterdam, Netherlands. And she was impressed by two of the artists to the point where she extended an invite for them to come out there when things clear up. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's
So
always good to foster those
yeah,
opportunities.
yeah,
Oh,
and New School Rules is like a lot of artists who hit New School Rules end up getting booked to do like tours of Europe. I'm not necessarily saying they start at stadium tours, but I'm
yeah.
saying they start developing their network out there, and next thing you know, they're on the road traveling,
If they
touring
put the
Europe.
work in, they can build from that.
Hmm.
Okay, so how like I guess how much are you guys planning ahead with the like with CRB, or how much are you guys able to plan ahead? Like, do you guys have a goal already set in place for 2021 of what you want to do, and does
Yeah, that's a good question, man. Because you know, it's like a catch-22. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. But also, if you make plans right now with so many things unknown about the future, you're gonna have to adjust those plans. But in my experience and with what we're doing, it's a lot better to have plans that you have to adjust than to have no plan. So we are planning, and our plans don't really reach past fall of 2021.
Mhm.
But for CRB, as of right now, we know that as soon as the weather gets milder, we're going to be having much more frequent events, and we're going to be taking advantage of the ability to stage events outdoors, given the COVID-19 situation, right? So that's going to mean like monthly. You know, starting in April, we intend to go monthly. Um, you know, I don't know if Prehistoric spoke on it much, but you know, we're moving towards consistently judging battles, having a ranking system, and
Okay.
I'm not gonna say like clearly defined tiers, but
Mhm.
nevertheless, sort of having a tiered system, because as the brand continues to build and an appetite for the brand, as far as fans goes, builds, also an appetite for people to come in and be part of the platform grows.
Mhm.
And we want to make sure that we're giving everybody who wants a look an opportunity to get in, but we also want to make sure that we're grouping people in appropriate, you know, skill level
Skill set.
groupings, so that people can also know what to expect when they're watching a battle. You know what I mean? A lot of people like to watch the development battles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's dope. You know, and we're here for that. But people sometimes people say, oh, they see like a name that they recognize versus a name they don't recognize, and they tune in and then they tune out, and that's also not good for our metrics, right? Like
Yeah.
if a viewer clicks on a battle and then
They don't
it's
watch.
away from it in the first 6 seconds because they're not impressed with the quality, that's not good for the metrics. So we're better off to have the people who only want to watch like established battlers know what they're getting before they even click on
True.
it. We just, you know, trying to clean things up. And yeah, like I think, you know, for us, it's almost like 2020 was like not much of a year for us. You know what I'm saying? Like we're excited about the card we got coming up, and there was a couple good battles in the summer, but it was not even a drop in the bucket compared to what we were really planning on doing. Because, like I said, after CP4, we realized, okay, like if we produce quality events, and that was our focal point at back then, was events. Now we're kind of thinking a little bit differently. We're thinking more about content rather than events. But like we knew if we produce quality events, people would come, people would pay to come, you know,
Mhm.
and that could sustain us doing that more often. You know, it didn't only have to be once a year. So we were ready to start bringing in, you know, talent from outside, but also just to offer you know, a lot of opportunities for the people who are still a part of the core CRB locally. And, you know, there's a few people from like the Toronto area, the GTA, who are kind of like
Yeah.
CRB is almost their home league, you know what I mean? But they're from
Yeah.
out
Like,
there.
you know, you have your own circle. One thing I'm wondering, because I know, like, does it does it harm you, or is there any problems being kind of the minor league? Like, basically, like, are you having stuff of, soon as an artist, you know, you build the artist, they trying to get to King of the Dot, or stuff like that? Like, did
No,
that, it haven't
it,
really affected that yet, or hopefully
no,
not?
it it hasn't become a challenge or a problem for us yet, and I don't see it ever really being a problem. You know, I think for a variety of reasons. I think first of all is because, you know, we have a collaborative approach to our sort of relationship that is continuing to build with KOTD.
Yeah.
So you know, it's almost like an ecosystem where it's like a filter system, and it's like, you know, like it's like the Bush League. You got to develop here in order to get a shot at the next league. And we've
Yeah.
actually seen a little bit of the opposite. We've seen some of our guys like really try to make that jump maybe a little bit too fast and not be ready for it, and then they come back down. You know what I mean? And they couldn't really cut it up there because, hey man, I'm sure you're aware, and all the battlers who are watching are aware. It's like when you're battling at home, it's a lot different than battling on the road, man. You know,
Yes. Yes.
and
It's
Ottawa is a
you gotta
pretty
win it. You don't have to win as much people over. You know, like you have your fan base and stuff.
yeah. And also, man, I mean, like, you know, I'm really comfortable traveling. I'm really comfortable being on the road and doing my thing, regardless of where I go in the world, because I've been around and I've seen a lot, I've
Yeah.
done a lot. But I know for a lot of these guys, they ain't really been everywhere, and they ain't really never felt the energy in the room of what an event, you know, like a beast mode or King of the Dot. Even
Yeah.
at DMS can be like, DMS have some loud ass rooms, man.
Yeah. They've. Yeah.
Montreal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Been,
so they're kind of spoiled here because we have a good community. It's all love, you know what I mean? Like, of course, you get in the ring, it's not, but you know what I mean? Outside of the battle, it's all
yeah.
love. You know, we're building a community here. We're
True.
not,
That's good.
yeah. So, you know, we take that approach here. So it's like, it's really different when people hit the road. And, you know, some have done it successfully and, you know, kind of started to make their mark. Like big up to D Rose, who, you know, early in the CRB days was traveling all the way out to leagues out in the States, you know, Chicago, Texas, all that shit. And, you know, he carried the flag of CRB out there on the way. I mean, the only time when it became somewhat of a challenge for us was when Rich, you know, when Poe Rich went and did the decade, King of the Dot, his name started ringing bells again and he got in demand. And then it just became like we had to compete to book him, you know what I mean, with the other leagues. But I mean, this Poe Rich, he did, I mean, you know, he should be in demand in other leagues. So, I mean, we felt good about that. You know, at the same time, he went to Decade, he was wearing that CRB hoodie and, you know, people were talking about it and people, CRB was visible. So, I mean, shouts to Poe Rich, he's my dude. He is one of the main reasons why CRB was able to develop the way it did. You know, having him move to Ottawa at that time was just a blessing for us and a gift. And himself as a person willing to take on that role and represent CRB, he didn't have to do that. He chose to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I respect him for that, man. He did a lot for us.
Honestly, I will say from a fan's point of view, that relationship was mutually beneficial because, in all honesty, at that time, Poor Rich's stock wasn't viewed the highest because, you know, his style, like, it's not even that he was bad, but his style wasn't appreciated anymore. It wasn't the cool way to rap. He's not talking about how big his guns are and you know, like it became, and I think CRB became a place that he could be Poor Rich and still put some quality performances together to show that he can still perform. You know, I thought that was good for both of y'all, and yeah, his name did help.
Word bond. Yeah, that's accurate, man. I think you're right. And I think you know, for the audience that we had here too, it clicked well. Because a lot of that audience was developing. And I mean, you know, there's the flip side too. There's the audience in Ottawa who do want to hear gun bars, who have been watching URL online, you know, from time, and they weren't really into that style. But once you step into a room and you're in the crowd and Paul Rich gets in his bag and he starts doing his thing, don't tell me you're not entertained. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whether it might not be like, okay, that's not what I really am here for. But damn, when he does his thing, he does his thing. He puts on a show.
Especially live. Yeah. It's hard live not to get into a Poor Rich performance. You know, sometimes it doesn't develop over camera, but if you're in that circle and he's going off, yeah, you do get into it and stuff.
Yeah, he does his thing.
Okay, so you guys have, because he stepped down, I guess, and you guys are having like a title match. Okay, so,
that's right. Big title match.
Yeah. So what is it? Teddy Um,
Teddy KGB versus Raiden Black. Yeah. Um, it's exciting for me. I mean, you know, Paul Rich brought a certain amount of he's recognizable outside of the local circles, and he was king of the dot champion. People recognize his name in the UK. People recognize his name in the United States. People recognize his name in Vancouver. He's known, you know what I'm saying, like all over the
yeah,
three major markets that we're concerned with, right? So, like him stepping down, for fair enough reasons, opens up a lot of exciting things for CRB because, for example, you got Teddy KGB versus Raiden Black coming in, and we just seeded them as contenders because of their track record and
yeah,
because of their consistency over the last couple of years. And there's a lot of things where you could say they're comparable on. They've both battled, outside of CRB. They've both kind of had their challenges building their audience, but they've both come into their own selves over the last couple years and been very consistent. I'd say that Teddy is less of a rags to riches story because Teddy has always been a consistent battler, right? Teddy
yeah,
KGB.
yeah. He just stepped. I think he just stepped away for a bit and stuff. But
Mhm.
yeah, he's always.
But Raiden, man, Raiden, like there was a time when that guy couldn't catch a break, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
Um,
I've honestly I've always been like a Raiden Black fan. Like when he even battled for Beast Mode and stuff and thing like I've always like I'll admit like I've always really liked him. I'm like from back then I was like I thought he would be bigger. I was like, nah, he's gonna be one of those ones once he just develops and you know make sure he gets clean thing performances and stuff like that because his pen is has always been really impressive and stuff for me there.
yeah, he's like, I would admit that I didn't like, I wasn't a big beast mode. I didn't watch a lot of beast mode back in the day. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? So I wasn't too familiar with Raiden Black. But going back in the catalog, I see where he had his strengths for a long time, but also where the holes were. And did he ever
yeah,
fill in those gaps, man? His performance over the last couple battles, 3 or 4 battles he's done in CRB has been immense. He's put on very, very dope, solid performances. And of course, like his writing, um, I'd say has gotten even better, with a bit more schemy. Maybe the
yeah,
maybe the jokes aren't better. Maybe they're just more convincing because of the performance. It's hard to
true.
tell. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Because the performance is so on point that it influences the interpretation of the writing. You know what I'm saying? The way that it hits different now. It hits harder. It hits and the one thing that I like about both of these guys is they are their authentic selves. Of course, it's a performance,
yeah,
so it's not the exact same way you're going to interact with them if you meet them at the family barbecue or something like that, you know what I
yeah.
mean, or on the job. But their personification of themselves into battle rap is authentic. They're
Putting on a
not really
total
faking
opposite
something
character.
that, yeah, so I really appreciate that about them. And I think that's what makes them comfortable when they are in the battle ring now too. So hats off to both those dudes because they've embraced the process. They've worked on their craft. They're not in it for overnight success or any false ideas that they may have subsided. So some people get into it thinking I'm gonna be the one to be an overnight success, or I'm gonna be the one to make real huge stacks of money off of battle rap, or I'm gonna be the one to get all the ladies or whatever. Maybe they're into guys, they want to get guys off of battle rap. I'm gonna be the one to get all the sex or all the no. They know, like, they're doing this because they love the craft. You know what I'm saying? They've been through all that, and yeah, maybe they met some people at battles and they got a little, ego stroke and a little recognition, but that's not what fuels it. Not at this stage, not for the amount of time they've been doing it. It's a love of the craft. And that's like, I got to salute these guys for that.
True, true. Okay, and so do you not make music at all anymore, or what's or when
Officially,
is the last
no.
time? Huh?
Yeah, no, like it's been a long time. It's been years. Like did the Boogaloo mixtape. I mean, I've written stuff over the last 3-4 years. I'll still, sometimes something will hit me and I'll do a voice note recording or I'll jot something down. I usually end up losing this paper. Like I got one notebook that has some raps in it that I've written over the last couple of years. But yeah, I don't really do it no more. But I'm always busy, but I am sort of attempting to clear my plate a bit to actually
Mhm.
put my lab back together to get back into making beats because I feel like, for me, writing is just like something, like almost like you would write in your diary and not like read it for
Yeah.
anybody.
Yeah.
But just to get it out of my head because it's something
Mm.
I've done most of my life. You know what I'm saying? Like for like 3/4 of my life, I've written raps.
Yeah.
Um, but making beats is something that I could actually see myself getting into again a little bit more seriously because it works with my lifestyle. You know what I mean? Um,
And
I'm at
it's
home a
like
lot.
you're
Like
spending the
right
time
now.
on it, you can make an income from it, you know. So
Yeah, yeah, and even maybe
it's
just
not just
getting
a
a
hobby.
yeah, yeah, and maybe just even getting a couple beats that actually get out there. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because now I am, again, because of the roles I'm playing, I am in the network with a lot of different rappers and
Yeah.
artists. So I could present my beats to a lot of people and just contribute even one or two beats to a project or something just to have that. Just because I love doing it mainly. But it's nice to also like at this point, like if I'm gonna put time into it, like for it to actually get out there and for people to hear it. You know what I mean? Um, yeah. So
True.
we'll see if that happens, but I'm working on it.
Yeah. Like yeah. Honestly, cause I like even when I was doing that, like I had to totally step away from battling from thing because when I was battling, I was going through unsteady lifetimes and stuff where I really couldn't put the proper time and energy that I needed to into my craft. And it got to the point where I was like, yo, like, this is my craft, this is my name, this is my thing, and I'm disrespecting it, not knowing that I can't put the time that I need, but still just doing it. And I just said, so like I stopped and started, got myself settled this year. Like the time off this year really got me into a good place and stuff.
Mm.
So I started doing the online stuff, and I think maybe 2021, because I've been writing and stuff. 2021, I might, try to get into battling, try to do some music and stuff. Every time I try to quit it, it doesn't let me. It's like, I don't think so. You got one more in you. So I'm like, so
Yeah,
so how many battles do you guys have coming up? I know you have that battle. I know it's not a big card. You have
yeah,
what, like?
four battles on the card. I don't know if you heard, we just sort of announced today that there was a rescheduled or a retooling of the card because we've had one cancellation. So Santo versus Malcolm X is not happening,
Okay.
but in its place is Santo versus Pepe. Yeah, 3 rounds too.
Damn.
Yeah, 3 rounds too. So
Oh shoot, that's like he- honestly, and he knows that if he's online. Like I'm a I'm a big proponent for like Pepe. Like anytime like Gully's, I'm like, I don't understand why. Like I used to do it with flipping Chris on Beast Mode. I talked to Gully and I'm like, I don't know why you guys sleeping on Pepe. Like this guy's like fire. Like I don't know if I'm the only one that's hearing it, and
yeah,
maybe I'm wrong, and I'm just like I don't know why people don't really use him as much. But yeah, like that's gonna be fire. Like I really, and I like that he always puts in a. I respect the rappers that always, no matter the stage, the opponent, the if they sign up for it, they're always gonna give their all, and they're always gonna, come with an effort of 3 rounds and everything like that. So I've always liked that of Pepe. So that's gonna be a pretty good card there.
yeah,
And
man.
okay, so the other question that I had, did you You have anything else that you want to promote to the people?
Oh
Stuff.
yeah, just the rest of that card was we didn't mention. So we also got NBS versus Xavier, right?
Yep.
Um, so that's like Santos' homie. He's another guy from out that way, and he's had a bunch of battles, most of them in Filipino language, Tagalog, but he's also had a couple battles in English. So he's kind of a new name for
Mm-hmm.
us, but also for a lot of people because he has really not been like in those, beast mode, KOTD, CRB, DMS sort of circles. Um, and then I'm forgetting the last battle. The last battle. Oh, of course, it's Disciple versus Samson. Um,
Okay. Yes.
and I'm looking forward to all these battles because, like, MBS, like that's since he came in, he's been hungry and he's improved every time he comes out and puts on a solid performance. Xavier, we're expecting, similar with him. And then, Disciple versus Samson, like Samson's been on hiatus for a while. And he was actually dope the last time he was out, but unfortunately the footage, there was issues with the footage. So the footage of his last battle on CRB never got released, and it's a shame because it was a very solid performance. And speaking of solid performance, like Disciple's the villain. Like, people love to hate the guy, but one thing you got to say is he puts on a show, man. He comes ready with 3 rounds. Well, he learned a while ago that you can't come with 2 rounds. You know what I'm saying? So he always comes with 3 rounds now, and he comes with 3 solid rounds. He puts on a show. You know what I'm saying? Like, people like to watch this guy's battles. People will look for things to criticize when they watch my dude's battles, but they like to watch it.
As long as
And
they
there's
watch
reasons
it,
for that.
being a villain, as long as you perform, can be very lucrative.
Yeah,
Like as long as you perform, because you just give them something else to hate about.
man, everybody watched Ted DiBiase. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You're waiting for that one time that he gets what's coming to him.
But he's a great performer, So yeah, man, that's what's coming up. Just like usual, for anyone who's interested in getting in on getting a tryout or getting a battle. Hey, if you're established and you've battled other places, hit us up. If you've never battled and you want to get in, hit us up, capitalrapbattles@gmail.com. For Cranium Festival, actually, this will be the first time we're actually announcing it, so it's like a soft launch. We're actually live streaming the second half of our 2020 festival on Boxing Day, December 26th, so look out for that. And yeah, CRB is gonna very shortly after this live stream event, we're gonna be announcing a few other things that are gonna be going down. So more battles coming early next year, and really consistent presence over the spring and summer and fall months of 2021, because we don't know what the winter's gonna hold again.
All right. Well, make sure you keep me abreast, because one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, because I was telling people ever since Witty, Christian Smith, stopped his Witty Smitty news, there's literally no battle rap media that's based in Toronto. So like none like none of our artists are really getting that media push where people are going to start talking about them, because hip hop is real and these people are not coming to Canada. They can't come to Canada during the so I figure like my page is really to give looks to. I do talk about URL and King of the Dot because those are
Mhm.
things, but my main things is Canadian battle rappers and female battle rappers and stuff. Those are my 2 main things. Giving them looks that they're not really getting. So make sure you keep me abreast, because I always support CRB and what y'all doing and stuff. So all right.
Yes,
So uh,
recognize, man.
information, and I'll leave it in the descriptions for them so that they'll be able to contact y'all if they need something for CRB or Cranium Festival.
Word life. Well, my man, definitely, and you speak in truth when you say you've always been a supporter of CRB. Yes, you have. We appreciate that. I appreciate you for what you're doing. Thanks for having me on. This platform is important, and I hope you continue to do it, my man.
Definitely, man. All right. Thank you for coming out and thank you for supporting.
Hey,
All
man, it's
right.
all love. Peace to
Blessings.
everybody. One
All
love.
right.